Hey, what's up guys? As I mentioned in my last video about the key of G, my cheat chords for the key of G, I'm just putting together some videos on YouTube for cheat chords when playing acoustic guitar. This time it's going to be in the key of E. It's another one of mine that's just pretty, I just use it on every song that's in E or that's capoed and then I play in E. Just has a nice open guitar sound, like an alternate tuning sound to it. Where I picked this up was actually from Crash Into Me by Dave Matthews Band. So I'll actually kind of show you how to play that song along with this, but then you can use these chords for anything. So here we go. Okay, so normal E chord is like this. You play index finger on the first fret of the G string, ring finger on the second fret of the D string, middle finger second fret of the A string. That's your normal E chord. Sounds nice and full like that. But when I'm playing a song in E, a lot of times I will just play it like this. So I'll just play my index finger here on the second fret, and I'll mute the D string so that you don't hear any sound from it. Just by lightly having the pad of my index finger holding that, and then I will put my pinky on the octave of that for the B up here. So just that, and that's actually doubling that the note there. I know my guitar's a little out of tune, but anyway. That's basically my E chord, because I just have those two strings, and then it's just doubling that B, and then the top strings stay open. And then to go from that to an A, all I have to do is drop my index finger down a string, and I use my thumb to mute the E string so that I'm playing the A as the bass. And then for a B, I move the index finger back to the B, and I throw my ring finger on the fourth fret of the D string, which is your basic power chord of B, but I leave the top strings open to give it that. It's actually a B suspended because it's keeping the E in it, where normally it would drop to D sharp for a B chord. And then C sharp minor is real simple. Drop that index finger again. It's actually the same as it's C sharp minor or A over C sharp, and I put my ring finger on the A string at the fourth fret. Okay. Another key chord in the key of E is E over G sharp, which basically is the same formation. I just move my ring finger down to the E string on that fourth fret. Gives it that nice cool sound right there. And then those are kind of the basics for that key. Sometimes in worship music or other songs that you play in E, you'll need an F sharp. And really for the F sharp, sometimes I'll try and just use my thumb and get that F sharp, and kind of like I'm playing it like I was playing the A, but I just throw my thumb on there for the F sharp. But if that doesn't work, sometimes I'll just go ahead and do an F sharp minor, which is minor 7, which is kind of like an A2 chord, but I then use my thumb and I mute the A string. F sharp minor 7 is what that's called. It's kind of a cheat chord for F sharp minor 7. Little side note, you can actually play that anywhere as well if you muted all the other strings. So that's kind of a movable chord that you can use in anything as well. Any minor 7 you can play like that. And it's all on the same fret. You just make sure to mute that A string with the pad of your middle finger. That's another cheat chord for that. So the F sharp minor 7 that you would need in a key of E. Another one that's not used a whole lot, but that you may need to pull out, is the B over D sharp, which basically is the same thing as the C sharp minor that we did earlier, but you just slide it up 2 frets and have that. And it's not really truly a B over D sharp, but it kind of gives it it's a unique sound to the B over D sharp. If you really want the B over D sharp, you pad every the middle 3 strings there, like on the A chord. Pad that up here, and then put your ring finger on that D sharp right here. And that would really be B over D sharp, but I like to just do it like that because it gives it a really cool sound. So E, A, B, C sharp, B over D sharp, F sharp, F sharp minor 7, E over G sharp. Cool. So before I show you crash, I thought I would tune up a little bit so you can hear the chords the way they're meant to be played. So I told you I'd show you how to play Crash Into Me by Dave Matthews Band, and then I'll also show you Open the Eyes of My Heart, because it's a simple E song that actually one of the first songs I started using this chord formations, these cheat chords on. So here we go, Crash Into Me. It starts out on the C sharp, A, B, E, and then E over G sharp, A, B, E. So here we go. Alright, and then Open the Eyes of My Heart, just because it's a simple song. Here we go. The B, again I'm just muting the E string on my thumb. Here's the bridge starting on B, C sharp minor, the walk up, well, thanks for watching. I hope that helps. Again, you can use those chords anytime you're playing in the key of E, or when you're capoed and playing in E formation. Hope that helps. Again, if you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them on YouTube. Thanks, guys.